Good morning, y'all. My name is Larry Collins. This is the Collins Family Urban Homestead, and welcome. Today is Friday, September the 18th. Figured I'd kind of take you along in some of the chores this morning. Sorry, we didn't put a video out last weekend. Kind of made this decision that if the video I got's really not that good quality, or we're don't really have a huge update on anything, because I didn't have a huge update last weekend, then I'm just going to go ahead and kind of not put anything out. I'm not going to put a video out just to put a video out. I kind of want to have at least something to put on here. So, later on in the summer when we're doing a lot of growing, there may be a lot more stuff, and so this will maybe come more in spurts than once a week kind of thing. But some weeks there's just not a whole lot going on. So anyway, I do have some stuff going on today. I want to my main thing this morning is I'm up doing the upgrading the garden beds. Let me show you what I've already done to the garden beds, and then what I'm going to be working on here in a little bit. So let me turn you around and show you that. So last week, I think it was, or 2 weeks ago, I cleaned this bed out, got everything out of there. The only thing left are the two parsley plants. I gave them a serious haircut, and I gave them a serious haircut. They're still green, so we'll see if anything comes back. If not, then we'll yank them out later, but I'm gonna give them a chance. So still got to clean up all the trellising and stuff. There was a lot of grass and stuff that was in here. I'm gonna yank that out, but as you can see, some of the grass is starting to come back up. I've got to go back through and clean this up one more time and get this in. But I'm going to go ahead and see about getting this planted out today. I want to get some peas started. I want to get some turnips and some rutabagas, and at least get that done this weekend. The other thing I did was I changed out the irrigation system on here. What I had was this. It had drip emitters all in there, and that was doing a good job. But I wanted to kind of go ahead and switch over to the tape where I could lay it where I wanted it a little bit better. And so kind of came off the main line there, ran that along the edge here, and put 4 lines down. And this is the Haas Tools drip tape that they have. I still need to turn it on and test it and see how everything is working on that, but I got that done, laid out. I kind of redid this bed also. Basically I wanted the tape running the entire length, whereas before it was kind of where we're at here. It was kind of going there and there, and this whole side over here didn't have any, so I wanted the whole bed kind of covered, so I redid that. And I'm going to kind of do the same idea over here, because this is kind of got this thing here. What I'm going to do is take the main line and run it back up around here and try to move these all the way back so that the whole bed is covered. And I need to add another run as well on this. I need to get all this straw out of here. And then this is going to be my onions and garlic bed for the season going into next year. So that's what this one's going to be, and that's the primary work for today, is getting this irrigation system changed out and repaired. I've got this stuff out for it, so that's the plans at this point. Also, while I'm looking at it here, kind of update on the Malabar spinach, kind of as a ground covering kind of deal, if you will. It's doing good. I could probably go harvest some more of that this weekend. We'll probably get some of that harvested and put in some salads or something like that. But there's still quite a bit here for something that I've not messed with. And the only thing I've done is try to harvest some of it and pull some of it back. It's not doing too bad. And let me take you over and show you the cherry tomato plant that's growing too. While we're going over there, I kind of cleaned these out as well, and the basil is still doing good. Hold on. And one of the things with having a train in your backyard, basically, they make a lot of noise. So anyway, so this little Sept garden needs to be, I need to go through and kill all those little bitty weeds coming up here. Chives are still doing pretty good. Basil's still holding on. It's actually due for another haircut and a good harvest. Although I can kind of start seeing some indications that this is probably moving to its end. And then I need to plant something out in here. I think we're going to do a lot of dill and maybe some cilantro in these two beds, and we'll kind of go from there. So let's go over and take a look at the tomato plant. You can kind of see it over there now. And this is still a very healthy looking plant. Of course, it's got all that compost that is feeding right into it. It's kind of, still haven't gotten any fruit off of it at all. It's got lots of flowers and stuff. You can kind of see there. So I haven't seen any tomatoes come off of it at all, but it is definitely a very healthy plant and has not, doesn't have any signs of wilt or anything like that. So we'll kind of see. It doesn't get full sun. It's got shade there and shade from the other side. So we'll see. It's kind of interesting. So that's that one. And chickens are out this morning. Haven't started laying yet. I'm expecting them to start laying real soon. And the chicks, not really chicks, it's actually time for the two hens to go ahead and join the rest of the flock. They've got still a few weeks before they're gonna lay. And the ducks are still, I'm getting 2 eggs a day consistently from the ducks. So there's Fawn. But that's the update on the birds and the tomato plants. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. Plans for the weekend, and we'll take you along and show you some of those projects as we go along, okay? We'll see you on the next clip. So I don't know how well you saw that in the time lapse that I just did there, but kind of wanted to talk a couple of things. One, I'm going to have to pull all of these lines completely out and replace them, because now that I have moved this main line back, they're not long enough to cover the entire bed, so they need to replace them with that. But I think I got plenty of line. Two, and this is probably the main point, when you're making the holes in here with this little tool, you need to kind of wobble it out a little bit, because that's a pretty good size T to go into those holes. And so you probably need to take it in there and wobble it out a little bit so that they fit. Otherwise they become a little bit of a challenge to kind of get in there. So just kind of wanted to show that. And now I've got enough lines, I'll run these out, and let me get that done, and then I'll get back to you when it's complete. So I kind of want to show a couple of things here. I pulled out this row of drip tape, and if you haven't noticed it, the way you tell on this of which side has got the emitters and which side doesn't, the emitter side has the little designs and stuff on it, whereas if you go on the other side, it is completely solid flat black. Nothing is on it. And according to Haas, you want these emitter side up. So that's kind of one thing. You probably noticed also I pulled up, I had just cut the tops off the tomato plants and left the roots in there. So I pulled up the stubs that were with those. And one of the issues I have on this particular bed, I don't know if you can kind of see it here. So we got fire ants here in Texas, and that is a pretty good fire ant mound right there. I've tried a couple of different times to kill it. I don't really want to use any kind of poison. I've got an idea of what else I can do. Down the road, but I got to go to the store and get some stuff. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but not right now. So that's one issue, and I've just got to be careful on this end of the bed. I've gotten stung a few times trying to plant some stuff, but right now I need to go get a pair of scissors so I can cut the tape. I've forgotten my tools, which this is not an unusual thing. I normally forget to grab something, so I'll be back and put you on time lapse to finish installing this. Okay, so I kind of wanted to show a couple of things on this last run here. This tape, when it comes, it's actually pretty tight. So you got to get it over this thing. This is kind of one of those challenging things. Trying to stick my finger down there. I want to try to get this apart as far as I can and as far as up as I can. And this is, when you play with it, it actually feels pretty flimsy. I mean, it does the job what it's supposed to do, but for this particular purpose, trying to get it on here gets to be a little bit of a challenge. So you slip it on there, trying to keep it straight, and then the trick is trying to get it all, back as far as you can. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it's going very far, and when you try to push it too hard, it breaks. If you can kind of see, it kind of breaks like that. It's not breaking the line, it's just like any kind of piece of plastic will just kind of crimp. So you try to get that on as far as you can. And then these screws here that tighten it down, they turn the opposite direction than what you would normally think. So you actually tighten these left to tighten it down onto the tape, and then that pretty much kind of keeps it there. My spacing here, this is a 5-foot long piece of board, and I'm placing these at roughly every foot. So I did the tape measure up here to kind of let me know where the foot marker is. So I figured I'd kind of show that part, and then let me take you over to the other side and show you the ending part of it as well. I can find my so here is the we're at the other end of where we're at here, and I just kind of pull this tight, maybe give myself a little extra space. Take my scissors, these are real easy to cut. I just kind of cut them here, and I gotta go find, got an end piece around here somewhere. I'll be right back. I gotta go find another end piece. Sorry about that, I thought I had that covered. I forgot to take one of these off here. So the way I do it, I don't know if this is the right way or not. So these have got a small end on one side and a larger end on the other. So I'm going to take it, put it through the small end first, come back around and try to fit it back through the small end. Now this can be a little bit of a challenge. This time it came through pretty good. If you saw me using my knife earlier, it's because I was reaching in there trying to push it down so I could get it out. So that kind of brings it up in there, and then you just kind of take this, the end part, stick it back into the big part, and just kind of double it back in and pull it in like that, and that'll hold it there. And you then kind of look at the line, kind of pull it to where I want to get, and that'll be that. I think the next thing I would do is go get my tape measure and make sure they're pretty close to a foot on this side as well. Only thing I'm looking at is I don't like that they're not laying perfectly straight. They've got some bends and crinks and stuff like that in it. So let me take you over there and show you what I'm talking about with that, and we'll see what we can do, okay? Okay, so I've kind of stretched these out here, but you can see the one on the left there, how it's kind of got that little kink in it, and even the one on the right, it's kind of got that little twist in it there. And as my wife would say, that's just me being anal about how that's laying. But I'll put the tape measure right here. They're roughly, a foot apart where we're at there. And so that's the irrigation part on here. And I've got that done on all 3 beds at this point. So I'm going to kind of put everything up, and then I'm going to come back, turn the water to it, and let's give this a test and see what this looks like on top, and see if there's anything that's not putting water out like it's supposed to. I know on this bed there was one line specifically. I had one hole that was it looked like everything was coming out of that one hole and nothing all the way down. So let's go turn it on, put some stuff up, and get the hose over, and then I'll bring it back and we'll run the test, okay? Be back. So one of the things I kind of wanted to show, I didn't wanted to pull all that grass up before we started putting water to it. Didn't want to give that any more moisture than it's already got, but you can kind of see how much digging I've already done, and give you an idea. I'm almost down at the bottom. That's 26 inches of corrugated metal that's going down to. And you can kind of see all of the roots that are all the way down there. And that is our beloved Bermuda grass here in Texas. It is one of those that if you've got Bermuda grass, you want to try to get that completely eradicated in your garden. Otherwise, this is what you're going to have to deal with. And it usually doesn't go away. I may get some of this stuff out, and fortunately this is nice loose soil. I was able to do all that just with my bare hands. But yeah, that's all the roots, and if I had left that in there, it would have been really bad later. So I'm going to go ahead and go finish doing that and getting that dug out of there first, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the test, okay? Okay, so that looks like that's all of the Bermuda grass, at least I can see. You can kind of see that was a lot of roots that were buried down up underneath the ground there. So toss those aside. We've got everything leveled back out. This one's ready to go. Got the water hose connected. All I have to do is turn the hose. So let's see what we got going here. Let's flip the switch. There we go, it's starting to... So what happens here is they kind of fill up. Looks like I need to fix a little bit of a drip there. Probably one, matter of fact, let me fix that now. Okay, so what I did is on that one I trimmed a little bit more and brought it back. This first one I brought it back a little bit, and I tightened that one down. I think it's doing okay now, so it's time for another test, and let's see how she goes. See if I can do this with my foot instead. There we go. Okay, I don't see any major leaks there. That's all looking good. These hoses have all filled out. Let me see if I can do it by getting this one more straight like that. Okay, so This bed's looking okay. I don't know why. A couple of these don't look like they're doing quite as, well, maybe this needs to just kind of turn that way. So you can kind of see some of them are blowing good, but you still get a couple of them that just don't have as much stuff. I don't know if it needs, well, they've kind of cleared out a little bit now, so they just need to clear out a little bit and clear some of the gunk out of the line. That was developed a little bit of a spray there. I probably just need to push that back in a little bit more. Let's come take a look over here. These are all looking good. I don't see any major malfunctions here. I've got a little battery mode, so hopefully this is recording. And let's go take a look over here. Don't see any major malfunctions there. Everything appears to be working good. Of course, that one's kind of just spraying right there. I don't know what's up with it. I think some of these, I think this just needs to run a while so I can get all the kinks out of it. Just kind of moving some stuff around. So far so good. I'm going to let this run for a while, and we'll come back and take a look and see how well it's running. We'll come back to you. Half an hour, 45 minutes or so with the water coming on. I figured I'd come out and come take a look. It's doing pretty good. I don't know if you can tell real well in this light. I don't see any major issues on this end, although it's not doing too bad as far as this stuff. I think I would like for it to be getting a little bit wetter. And this one's doing all right. I don't see any issues here. And this one is looking good as well. I do have one issue here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me, right here, and get that, is where the regular dripper is. Right here is a squirter. So I think there's a hole in the line right there. I'm just curious. So you've got one dripper there, one there. I just wonder if there's missing one here somewhere. Ah, there's that one there. Okay. It's a little one. So that's kind of the only thing I'm seeing, is some of these just don't look like they should. I may have to go see if I can find some tape and put around that one spot so it's not just squirting out all over everything. I suppose that could be kind of an overhead sprinkler kind of deal. So I'm gonna come over. I've probably got a little bit of a leak to kind of take care of there, although that's not too bad. And that's coming off of this thing here. These all seem to be kind of going a whole lot bigger and stronger than some of the others over there. And that one looks like it's squirting out. I don't know if I got too much pressure or what. And this might be why they say it works better if this stuff is buried, because that kind of keeps it from just squirting everywhere, and it just kind of absorbs right there in the location. So you can kind of see where they're all going to. So I may come back and bury them a little bit later. And everything is working. I need to take my phone back, put it back on the charger, It's up to 35% now, but I think I got the main stuff done today. I want to come back a little bit later and see about planting some seeds and getting stuff, but that'll be later on this afternoon. It's almost noon now, so anyway, looks like everything's up and working and doing what it's supposed to be doing, and so we will come back to you later on in the day. Well, good morning, guys. Last night we went ahead and took 2 of the hens that were with the chicks and went ahead and moved them into the main coop here with the other ladies, and so this will be the first morning they have coming out of the coop and joining the entire flock. So I figured I'd take you along on that adventure, and we'll see how well they do. Hopefully they survive the night. Shouldn't be a big problem. And they're a little bit smaller than the other ones, but not, not ridiculously smaller. So come along, let's see how they did overnight. So I'm gonna go try to open the door, and sorry if I don't think this is gonna be real good on the video, but we'll see, at least for the door opening part. We'll see how well this works. Well, we got the 5 reds out. I see 4 main ones. And the 2 little ones in there don't know what to do. Well, they're alive anyway. They just haven't. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red ones, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna step on out here. So they have food and water. Everybody else has got the normal routine down. And I think these guys just kind of need to figure out what's going on here. So we'll give them a little bit of time. We'll come back later and check on them. In the meantime, we now have the bachelor pad over here. The bro pad, however you want to put that. Let's take a look here, and I see them out this morning, kind of been fighting with each other a little bit. And we got the 2 bros. Still not quite sure which one's dominant. These guys I need to get rid of. I put a thing on Facebook this morning, or actually I put it on a few days ago. My wife reshared it. She said she got a response from somebody local, so possibility these guys may be leaving today. So hopefully they can go find a good home where they can live out life, because I have no need for any more roosters here. That said, hopefully that guy starts doing his job, because I haven't even heard him crow lately. He's been really, really, really quiet. So, I hear the ducks kind of making noise. So let me go take care of those, and I'll get back to you. Well, I think she's in there still trying to lay an egg, so I'm going to leave her alone. Not even going to go mess with taking a look at eggs right now. I'll go check that a little bit later, so we'll be back. The little ones have kind of come out. The little one there, that one just went back in. This one's kind of introducing herself to the flock and figuring out what's going on. I think that's the old lady going in to go check. And then she's just kind of checking out what's going on, introducing herself to everybody. you can see the small one over there. I mean, she's not that much smaller. She's just a couple of weeks behind, so she'll catch up. Anyway, we'll get back to you. Out here, might as well give you a quick update. One of the other things I did last night is I came in and I added some, I roughed up the beds, added some azomite, a little bit of Texas green sand, and then I threw in some molasses into these beds. That one looks a little bit different than it did yesterday, not quite as compact. Kind of roughed this one up a little bit as well. So, still got some stuff to kind of go do. I am kind of curious. I don't remember. Maybe I did and I just don't remember it. So we'll hopefully come back and do some more with this a little bit later on today. I've got a Zoom meeting I got to be on here in a little bit, so this is just a morning update on the garden. And we'll get back to you, okay? So hey guys, so it's Sunday afternoon now. After the whole weekend, we got quite a bit done. I kind of want to close out the video, but kind of show you what all we had done. So this bed here, I planted half of it in carrots and the other half in beets. I planted the seeds. I got to come back tonight and give another real good watering. Hopefully everything sprouts and comes up. We'll kind of see how that goes. I used some older seeds, although I did, I think I made a mistake. I went and bought some bagged compost to put in here, and unfortunately, if you can kind of tell, it's more mulch than it is compost. I was hoping to kind of get a nice finer texture on top of the soil to go ahead and plant seeds in, and that didn't really work real well. And it moving the mulch out of the way, planting underneath it, and then covering it back up. So we're taking a chance this weekend. There's a good chance that, you know, even if everything sprouts and comes up, that we may get a frost or something beforehand that kills everything. But we'll kind of wait and see. And like I said, we're taking a chance. So we got carrots and beets planted in this bed. Some of these seeds are also a little bit older, so we'll kind of see how well that goes. And then on this bed, on the kind of the long row here, I put a couple of rows of peas down there. When they all sprout, we'll put a trellis up and get those. And then I got kind of 2 rows of turnips. It's a snowball turnips I got from Haas Seeds. Probably planted them a bit too thickly. I tried using a little cedar thing that put too many out. And so when I switched over to the next batch of stuff, I started using just kind of putting them in by hand. And then these next 4 rows here, I planted some rutabagas. This is one of those, didn't necessarily like them as a kid, didn't like turnips as a kid either for that matter. So I'm going to go back, try them, and see what we can do now that we're adults, if you will. And we got motorcycles in the background. And then I did a row here of the black Nantucket carrots, kind of see how those go. And then we did some watermelon radishes over here. Also did a couple of things of dill here. And then I planted in here, I got some cilantro started here. And then this back box over here, I went and got some more dill going in there also. So we'll see how we go with all of the seeds starting and stuff. Eventually, I do need to probably go ahead and harvest some of this basil and get that going. I've also got some in the house already we put in water. It preserves it a little bit better that way, but it also grows roots and you can transplant them. So I eventually want to get around to getting some of those starts going more into the fall winter time. That gives us some basil going forward. So we'll kind of walk over here, give you a evening update what this one tomato plant looks like. Kind of see that there. No tomatoes yet, but we'll wait and see. You kind of notice back over here, I fixed that up so I can keep my mower covered and stuff a little bit. I saw something, if I remember the YouTube channel I saw this trick on. Let me show it to you here in a minute. I'll put it in the description down below. It's a gardener from New Jersey. I forget what his name is, so I'll link his YouTube channel below. But let me turn you around and show you this little trick I saw. So what he did to try to better keep the PVC in place, he took the end caps like this. He's drilled a hole in it and then just screwed it in, and then put this in on top of that. If I can pull that. Okay, so that's not going to pull out. Not real easy right there. With everything tightened down on it, that's probably not going to work real well. So, but that's all I did was took all these caps, screwed them into the 2x4s there, and then stuck the PVC in. It's 1/2 inch Schedule 40 PVC. It's pretty cheap, and holds a tarp over it and should keep everything good and dry, and keep the rain off it a little bit more. So that's kind of one of the things we did there. Of course, one other thing we got taken care of, I clipped a lot of their wings. I said a lot of them, not all of them. I still got to catch a few of them and get that done. But there's quite a few of them. I got their wings clipped. Probably a couple of them that didn't, but when I get home in the evening and I've got them in the backyard because they fly up and out of the coop, yeah, I didn't want that happening anymore. So we got that taken care of. The 2 chicks are in there. I've got to leave them all in the pen for a few days because the chicks have to realize that this is home. I accidentally let one of them out last night, and matter of fact, everybody was out kind of roaming the yard, and it was fun trying to get the 2 young ones back in the coop. So they're going to stay in here for a few days, get everybody reacclimated, and we'll kind of go from there. I think the young ones are still trying to find their spot. I don't think the old ones really like the young kids being in there right now, so that's kind of where we're at. The roosters are, the bro pad, bachelor pad over here is still going. I haven't been able to get rid of them yet. Don't really want to process them, but we'll give them a chance and see what happens. So anyway, that's where we've been at for the weekend, what all's gotten done, and pretty much it. So anyway, hope you guys have a great weekend. Had a great weekend. If you like this stuff, do all the YouTube stuff that they like to do, and hit like, subscribe. I appreciate it. Let me in comments if you see anything you like or don't like or whatever. And God bless, and we'll see you on the next video.